All right, so we're back with an update for the property, and definitely has not been sunshine and rainbows. Quite the opposite. But look, we finally got the house. Now everything here has been kind of a mess. You can see everything is all muddy here. I brought up gravel just to try and keep from slipping up and down with the truck, and still I need a lot more gravel. You can see where, just to give you an idea how bad this mud has been. My entire property is pretty much a muddy, slippery mess right now. So over there, I was doing a lot of clearing, finding a lot of down timber and stuff. It's going to take a while to get all that stuff done. So yeah, the home showed up last week. As you can see, it's not anywhere near completed. There's still a lot to do. They joined it here on this last Thursday and Friday, and they still have to do all the groundwork, the skirting, the drainage, all of that stuff still has to get done. Now I'll show you a quick look on the outside. You can see that this one is a basic model, nothing fancy about it. I'll show you a little bit on the inside. We're not going to do a complete tour just because it's not anywhere near done. Also, I've been asked by people how the foundation was being done with this one, so I'll show you a little bit more of that here shortly. You could also see that we got to get a lot of drainage done too. We just had a lot of rain in the storm. Now here is the front. Like I said, nothing fancy. We don't even have an overhang or anything for the porch. That will be something I'll have to add on later on. All right, to show you a little bit of the foundation. Now I showed you before that it was a concrete foundation there at the bottom, and then we have the concrete blocks, and it also has this pillar system. So there's these pillar things all the way around it. So yeah, the house was originally supposed to be here earlier than it was, but then there was all kinds of storms that hit the Oregon and Washington areas. Snow on the passes. They couldn't do it logistically, and then they had to rent like an extra dozer and extra equipment just to get it up the steep driveway. So it's definitely been a challenge, but it's finally here. Now we're just fighting the weather to get everything done. We still got to do all the utilities, trenching, the septic system, all of that still has to get done. It was pretty neat to watch them bring it up here, though. I do have a little bit of footage. Now, hopefully that footage came out pretty decently. I'll show it right now as I'm talking. But they had this like remote controlled dozer, which was pretty neat watching him do it. And they were able to move it back and forth with the dozer and just get everything placed. And it was kind of cool to watch it. I'd never seen a little itty bitty dozer that small have so much power. I didn't even know they had remote controlled tractors, so that's kind of cool to watch. I'm sinking in this mud right now. So this is the other issue. I'm trying to work on the property. I'm trying to get things cleared, but it's raining so much, and we have this heavy clay soil, and everything has just become a slippery mess. So it's making it really hard to get stuff done. I'm going to be very limited what I can get done the rest of this year. So it kind of this puts everything back so much. So this definitely has been a challenge, and like I said, it hasn't been a bunch of sunshine and rainbows. It's actually been the complete opposite. Lots and lots of rain. We do live in pretty much a rainforest. Like I've said in a previous video, we get up to like 140 inches in these hills. It's pretty wet. The bright side though, once I get everything done, I'll be able to grow a lot of different stuff, especially if I get some greenhouses and some tunnels in here. You'll see where I haven't gotten super far with all my clearing either. There's still a lot of trees to cut down and get ready for orchards. Hopefully I could do a bit of that this winter and get it ready for the springtime. Now, I've been asked by several family members, friends, even a few commenters on some of my channels, knowing what I know now, would I do this again? That's a really hard question to answer too, just because this has been a nightmare. I started everything in February. It is now almost November, and I still don't have a house to live in yet. It's here, but I can't live in it. So I started out in a tent for a couple of weeks, and then it was just cold and rainy, so I moved into an RV. And I've been in a small RV now for a couple of months, and it's really not that fun. And having to deal with everything off-grid, getting water, getting power, getting all of that stuff has definitely been a challenge. And it is really a lot of work. I think that's one of the biggest issues with a lot of homestead channels. They kind of gloss over a lot of the things that you have to do behind the scenes to get things together. It's not cheap either. Not everybody has the means to do something like this. I saved for years to be able to do this. And closing took my entire life savings where I had nothing left for anything that pops up, for equipment, for fencing, for any of that stuff. So it's going to be pretty slow getting a lot of this stuff going. Doing a homestead takes a lot of investment, not just money, but time. And if you're working full time, it's also hard to get out here and work a property because that's a full-time job as well. And not everybody can afford to do something like this either. Some people can afford the land, but then you got to live in a tent or an RV for a while. Some people choose to build their home. Some people might have the means to build a home or buy a home right outright. And still, even then, there's a lot to it. My recommendation before you jump into something like this is to have a pretty good savings setup and a really good plan, especially if you decide that you want to do this for profit and business, which is something that I want to do eventually, but it's going to take a couple of years before I can actually even make money off of this property. I might be able to start next spring, but it's still going to take time. You have to invest in buying your plants, all your garden supplies, your equipment. You also have to invest your time. So I guess if I had to answer that question, I would probably do things just a little bit differently. I did fall in love with the property. It's going to take a lot of work. It is a mess right now, especially with all the mud. Got to get stuff planted for erosion control. It's just a lot to do. And a lot of things that I can't afford for a while. Like I need to do actual asphalt for the drive, and the gravel is it's more of a temporary thing, but it's the only thing I can afford right now. Some of the things I might have done a little bit differently was find land that already had utilities on there or right there at the road. This one had nothing available. Now, the ultimate goal for most people is to be completely off-grid, and that is my goal one day, but that's going to take investment and time as well because you got to pay for all that solar stuff. And I can't have a well here, so I'll be dependent on city water forever unless I can do like a collection system and be able to filter that and stuff later on, which might be an option with all the rain that we get. All right, enough with me jabbering for the moment. Let's go ahead and hop inside. I'll give you a quick tour right now. Keep in mind, everything is still a mess. Nothing is finished on the inside either. No carpet, drywall needs done. A lot of stuff needs done still. You can see that the stuff's not fully joined on the inside. Carpet's not laid. They still got to do a lot of that stuff. They still got to do pretty much the entire house. I mean, there's still a lot to do in here. But I'll do just a really quick walk around. Once everything's done, I'll do an actual real tour like I promised before. But I mean, this house is not huge. It's got 5 bedrooms total, but as you can see, the bedrooms are rather small and we don't have a carpet in any of them yet. Now, I chose pretty much a basic layout. This one is a simple bathroom, none of the upgrades or anything. Now, I chose the flex option with this one, so I have this room. This is going to be my office, and that's pretty much just a smaller 5th bedroom. And then over here, we have a couple more bedrooms just like this. And then we have what's called a flex living room. So it's got a 3rd door over here. And then we just have a really small living room. This is going to be for my mother to use while she's living here. Now let's go ahead and go back down the other end. You can see everything's a mess in here. Over here's the dining area. I was debating on what I actually want to use this area for. And then I'll give you a quick look at the kitchen here. So we have stainless steel appliances. I chose this color. My daughters asked me why I chose this black. I just wanted more of a contrast. And then, well, it's still wrapped up, so I can't really show you the fridge that I went with. And then over here, we do have a large room that we could use for the pantry. I'm also going to put a freezer. I opted for the extra freezer plug dedicated. And this one also has the geothermal hybrid water heater system. Well, that's the furnace. And then we have the master bedroom, which is also incomplete. This has a bunch of the carpet stuff in here. And as you can see, this room's not very huge. It's definitely a lot smaller compared to the other bedrooms that I've had. Closet is a walk-in closet, but it's not huge. We have a double window here, so I can actually look out quite easily, and I can see the animal life and stuff, which is nice. Eventually, I'll get some nice stuff growing around here. And then we have the master bathroom, dual sink. One little window in here. And then it just has a basic shower. And then over here around the corner, we have our toilet. And we got a lot of space where you can put shelves and stuff. Same thing back here. There's a lot of space back here. So yeah, you can see there is a lot to still do around here. I went with a pretty basic layout, pretty basic model. There's no fancy frills or anything in this one. It was one of the cheapest ones for the size. So yeah, it has been a nightmare and it has been a challenge every single step of the way for this. I'm still pretty new to this type of content, so bear with me as I'm learning to navigate this whole thing and to answer questions and to show you the steps and everything going on. It has been pretty busy, and with all the rain, it has been pretty hard to get out here to film as well. And hopefully not too long from now, I can actually show you more of stuff that I'm actually doing. A couple of weeks ago, I did get a new tractor. I've been able to do a lot of stuff quicker, and I was able to get that on payment, so that was the only way I was able to do it. I will do a follow-up video on the tractor. I also have some implements that I got for it. I still need quite a few more eventually, but that's another cost that I can't afford right now. I've been trying to watch for used stuff, but not a whole lot available in this area right now. I also need either a stump grinder or I need to rent an excavator that I can actually yank out all the stumps too. Maybe when more of this clearing gets done, maybe I'll just rent an excavator for a couple of days and just rip out all the stumps at that time. That might be the only way I'm going to be able to do it, because the tractor that I bought will not be able to handle that stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to get a quick updated video. There's been a lot of people wondering what the heck is going on, why it's taking so long. And we are now in the rainy season, like I mentioned. It's been storming and raining like crazy, which is making it hard to do a lot of stuff as well. Now, if you have questions, definitely shoot them down below. I'll answer them the best I can in follow-up videos. I definitely want to be transparent with everything that's going on with the property and going forward with all the plans, all the things that I do. I still got a lot of projects. I got a lot of stuff that I need money for. So hopefully we'll get some of that stuff started here in the near future. I also got to do a lot of grading. The mud's definitely not helping, but I got to do a lot of grading. That way I could do chicken coops, greenhouses, all of that stuff. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.